Lay's is having an identity crisis. Hello, food freaks! Welcome to a very chilly, windy fall edition of That's Rank. So, last year, Lay's decided to replace their decade-long Do Us a Flavor contest, which was a contest where fans would submit bold new flavors for a chance to disgust consumers nationwide with classics such as Caesar salad, fried green tomatoes, and biscuits and gravy, which, side note, was totally delicious, and I will not hear arguments to the contrary. But now they've decided just to stay home and dip into the rest of their seasonings available at home inside the Frito-Lay's plant. Now, unfortunately for you and me, they have not gone completely insane and decided to drop things like Crystal Pepsi or Tropicana with extra pulp, but they decided to stick by their salty seasoned snacks and have released 4 confused flavors to the general public. And those flavors are Cheetos cheese, Cool Ranch Doritos, kettle cooked Fritos chili cheese, and wavy Funyuns. Let's get crunching. So earlier this year, Lay's decided to release this bizarre mashup that featured ketchup-flavored chips with Cheetos cheese, and it wasn't good. And since then, I've sort of wondered who the culprit was in that disaster. Was it the ketchup or the cheese? It was entirely possible that it was the two of them together that was weird, like Pete Davidson and Ariana Grande. But I guess what I'd like to have answered is whether the Cheetos cheese doesn't actually work without the buttery Cheetos rod? Is that the right name for it? Fun fact, buttery cheese rod used to be my online dating name. All right, so there's a little of that Cheetos dust on here, but not nearly the glow stick orange that I would expect coming off of regular Cheetos. Do I actually have any in here that are more heavily coated? Give me a second.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now that guy right there has a lot of dust. So you know what, I'll eat one of each of them to keep things balanced. And I'll start with a lesser coated chip here. One thing I forgot to mention is that this bag didn't have those cheese parts that you know I'm not a fan of inside of cheese-flavored chips, so that was a plus for me. Doesn't smell like Cheetos, but it doesn't smell like something that your doctor should be treating. That was okay. I'm not getting Cheetos, but let me try the coated one. Let's see. Now that one right there is a little bit closer to what I'd expect, but still not quite there. So what I think I'm discovering here is that what makes the Cheetos at the end of the day is the puff. By using a chip, you've changed the entire complexion, and the potato doesn't pair as well as the puff does. It's still okay, like, I'd probably go about C tier for these though. That's where I'd put any snack that I don't think that I'd buy again, but I wouldn't turn down if it was offered to me. But really, like, if I was in need of a Cheetos hit, I'd just buy the Cheetos. So one benefit in doing my channel is that it's forced me out of my comfort zone at times, just a little bit. I was pretty sure that I hated Cool Ranch Doritos, but it turns out that I don't mind them. It's still not my favorite, but it's a respectable flavor. Again though, like the Cheetos, I think that the biggest obstacle these are gonna wind up facing is whether or not it'll work on a potato as well as it works on a corn chip Dorito. So taking a look at this chip, it kind of looks like a Christmas cookie with the red and the green spices on it, and I appreciate that it's not just a white spice so that I can get a hint about the amount of seasoning that's on this chip. Let's look around and see if I can find one that's more well seasoned. I don't see anything in this bag. C'est la vie. Oh, yeah, no, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't know what's gone on with this one, but this does not belong on a potato chip at all. It's just kind of weird. And I always figured a potato was kind of a blank or neutral canvas for flavors, but it turns out that it's not. It's a potato. Maybe that's not a revelation for you, but I'm a little bit shook. That's a D tier for me. I have zero desire to ever eat these chips again. The rest of this bag, like for me, this is an absolute nope. My son certainly will pound it though. He's not very picky when it comes to chips, which is kind of weird because he's the same kid who freaks out when there's pepperoni on his pizza, but he'll eat it just fine once it's picked off. Like, I'm talking literally the pepperonis. He'll eat them, they're great when they're off the pizza, but if it's on the pizza, big nope. These chips though, yeah, he'll eat these. Our lone wavy entry today, Funyuns. I'm all bent out of sorts at this stage, and I don't even know what to believe anymore. You would assume that ranch would go with a potato, but it certainly did not. And I don't think of onions as a thing that goes on a baked potato, but nothing makes sense to me anymore. However, I guess there's onions in breakfast potatoes. They do them on scalloped potatoes as well. Do they use onions in potato pancakes? I haven't had one in decades, but that feels right to me. Oh, pierogies come with onions sometimes, so we do have some hope here. But is a Funyun more of an onion ring, or is it just a fun onion? What makes an onion fun? It's not the red onions, those are all business. Maybe those little pearl onions, maybe they're funny looking, but I don't know about fun. Yeah, I can't figure it out. Comment below if you know. So these chips look like they're plain. If there's dust on here, it's totally invisible, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Okay, these are all right. Definitely the best chips that I've had so far today. First of all, they're helped by the fact that they're wavy chips so that they're a little bit thicker and thus it comes with a better crunch. I think a crunchier chip is just better. Actually, that's a lie. That it helped anyway. I can't see it fixing the problem with the Cool Ranch Doritos. Those are gonna suck no matter what chip they're on. But what I really like is just the flavor of a Funyun. It's this salty onion powder. And I don't know why that's a good thing. It actually sounds kind of awful, but they have this addictive nature to them. I could easily see plowing through this entire bag. B-tier chip. It's perfectly acceptable. Nothing mind-blowing, no reinvention of the wheel, and I still prefer this flavor on the weird puffy onion ring thing than on a chip, but it's not a bad chip. I'd eat these again. Those of you who are regulars in my comment section would recognize Pixie, aka Laura G, who comments on most of my videos, and she has been on me for a while to try these. Swears up and down that these chili and cheese Fritos taste like falafel. Now, I'm a little bit horrified by that description, but also a little bit intrigued. I love falafel, but I'm concerned that we somehow landed there with chili and cheese. And in the event you didn't know this, Pixie does shorts on her channel nearly every single day, giving quick food ratings on all kinds of stuff, so check out the channel over at Laura G. So these are the only kettle-cooked ones in the lineup, which are my favorite style of chip, and at least the crunchiness factor should be on par with the Fritos. Now, obviously, like everything else, it's a completely different base that we're working with, so you never know how this is gonna turn out. Okay, I grabbed myself a foldy one because these are about as well seasoned as anything else that we've seen today. Other than that one Cheetos one that we saw at the start of the video, we haven't run into any others that are crazy over seasoned, but this one looks pretty good. Oh well, we got what we got today. Okay. I see what Pixie was saying about the falafel. I'm not quite there, but I feel it. I dig it. We're definitely in that neighborhood. I think what it is there's probably some cumin in here to enhance the chili flavor, maybe even some garlic and some onion, and those are all things that you would see inside of a falafel. It's actually hurting on the cheese part, which is not normally something you'd hear me complain about when it comes to chips, but I could really go for some cheese on these. We've had those weird chili and cheese Doritos 3D things, and I found those ones a little bit more balanced with both the chili and the cheese flavor. This one though is, well, it's mostly kettle chip, and I'm getting way more potato than I am the seasoning. Not really excited by these. I'm not offended by it either. It's a C tier, I think, which is unfortunate because I felt like these had some real upside potential, but like nearly everything else today, it felt kind of flat. I don't know, guys. For me, I think I can count on one hand the successful Lay's flavor crossovers or mashups or duos of flavors that have been winners over the years. There's a reason that the main library of chips is like, I don't know, 10 or something. Oddly, despite being what you think is a pretty open food concept, chips really do seem to have a limited number of seasonings that just slap. All right, let's open the floodgates. What do you guys want to see on chips? I've thought long and hard about this, probably investing way too many calories in the flavor of chips. And really, what I just want is a pizza chip in the permanent rotation. The ones that Hostess used to make when I was a kid, that's what I want back. So, Lay's, make it happen. I'll be here waiting.